This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It is an honor to have you here. Let's talk about coyotes today. I said coyotes, okay? When I was working part-time for a ranch, mostly weekends, the old ranch owner, he wanted to do something good for the hired hand, so he bought a bunch of geese, baby geese, and we would raise them up, and then for Thanksgiving, he was going to give all the hired hands a goose for, Thanksgiving, okay? So we raised them up. They was probably up between 4, maybe 5 pounds. And every night they'd get closed up, and when we was out there, we'd feed them and everything. Well, one night we weren't there, but whoever was supposed to close them up at nighttime, keep them safe from coyotes, what have you. And so they forgot to close the door. They forgot to close the door. But something came in, and not just one, something came in and got all 12 geese. All 12 5-pound geese were taken that night. There was feathers at different places out in the field, upwards of 300 yards out, where some of them had been mutilated. But that tells you that about had to be a pack of coyotes to do that. Again, coon or what have you would just take one and off he'd go. And, be it coon and most other critters don't run in packs, but a coyote pack will do it. But that's the first and the biggest robbery we ever had from coyotes. Yeah. The second coyote story, we was out there, and the Burntwood runs in from a canyon. It runs in from Kansas. It'd been dry. They suck all the water out of that for the last 50 years. It never runs except during floods. When you get a 5-6 inch rain, it'll dump a lot of water down that canyon, because there's most of 100 square miles pours into that canyon, which then pours into the Republican River. Okay. So there was a flood going on, so we went down there to check some cows, and because it was calving season, they was having calves. And one old cow had got on the other side, though, of the river, and the creek, if you will, and it was flooding, no way to get to her. We saw there was trouble down there, so we drove on down in that old mud, got down to within about 100 yards of the flooding area, and you just couldn't go any closer. But we could see over there, and she had had a calf, and the coyotes were fighting her to get to the calf. Well, it wasn't very long that they got to the calf and killed that calf, newborn calf. But they weren't satisfied. There was 5 coyotes, and they was working on her, and they'd keep her busy up front with a couple, and they'd run up behind and bite at her backside and rip that open in her bag. And next thing you know, she was bleeding so bad. And by the time we would plow mud and go 5 miles around because of the flood to get to a bridge to get across and get over there, lower the fence on the other side of that fence, pasture, and get down there to her, it'd have been over anyway. And we didn't have a gun with us that day. And so they got to kill, $2,000 worth of livestock. Now I know Game and Parks and PETA and a lot of animal rights would laugh about it. They couldn't care less. But that's $2,000 out of that rancher's pocket. That's a lot of money. You'd cringe if somebody took $2,000 out of your pocket and there was nothing you could do about it. Okay. So from then on, there was always a .22 rifle in the car, and pickups, you bet. And you shot on sight. You shot on sight. Now, you didn't care whether it was 100 yards or out there at 1,000 yards. You shot at them. No, you didn't hit very many on out there. But if they was within 200 yards, you'd give them a run for their money with that .22 rifle, I'm here to tell you. And that would kill a coyote quite easily, even on out to 300 or 400 yards, if you got lucky enough at a good shot back there and knew your windage and your elevation. Your windage and your elevation. You want another coyote story? Okay. When I went to school, there was 2 bullies. One was 2 years older than me in that class, and then one had flunked, so he was just a year ahead of me, but they were both the same age, and they were both bullies in that small school. And I was their punching bag every once in a while. Yeah, not fun. Be that as it may, they grew up, and the oldest one, though, of the 2, and he was almost a year older than the other one, but he was working for a ranch out by Juanita, and he they couldn't find him. He was missing. Okay. And they took and looked all over the place. And about 6 weeks later, the rancher ran into him, found him. Of course, he was dead, and about 2/3 of him had been eaten by the coyotes. Now, you know, he might have been 30 years old at the time, and that's unusual for a 30-year-old to just drop dead. Was he injured? Couldn't tell. You know, no way to figure that out, but he was out on flat ground. Odds of spraining an ankle or getting injured, you know, so he couldn't get to help. No phones back then. And so what happened? Or did a pack of coyotes just attack him? Is it possible? Well, game parks and a lot of people say a pack of coyotes won't do that. They would never attack anybody unless they were, you know, already dead. But again, eyewitness I am to watching a 1,500-pound cow get ripped to pieces by coyotes, and you know, she bled out and died. So would they attack a man, injured or otherwise? And if you're saying, well, I bet it was suicide, you're dead wrong. There was no gun around or anything. There was no gun there. Just a whole bunch of coyote tracks of what they had done to that man, whether he was dead or alive. Coyotes are not your friend. Keep that in mind. Have a good day.